Hi everyone, Juan Diego de la Rivera here. I was asked by my teachers to do a video talking about the history and about Uagadou because a lot of people don't seem to know much about Uagadou. So here I am. But before talking about the houses and the kind of magical animals that live here in Africa and everything else, let me tell you a little bit about the history of Uagadou. When you look back to the history of Uagadou, you won't find a lot of straight answers. Being older than Hogwarts, Uagadou's timeline is blurry. There are hundreds of different stories about why it was first founded, or even by who. Some say that a long-forgotten and powerful empire managed to unite all of Africa thanks to their overwhelming magical strength, and to preserve it, they created a school where those with great magical talents will be sent to be trained in the art of magical combat. And that after the sudden disappearance of this great empire, Uagadou was all that remained. Others say that the school started as an incredibly powerful witch decided that it was time to share her knowledge with her children. As they traveled, more and more people started to join her in her journey and passed on their knowledge, until, eventually, they settled at the same point where Uagadou stands today. Some people even add to this story the fact that the witch was supposedly immortal, and that she still teaches at Uagadou to this day. Thanks to this rumor, it's a tradition that the head of the school always has to be a female. I actually believe this. I'm pretty sure that the headmaster is a witch. Don't tell everyone. Well, but the most generally accepted theory, however, is one with less fantasy. Uagadou is what remains of a tribe of travelers that, using an advanced magic, stole memories of powerful wizards and witches, using their memories to learn as well as to prepare themselves for war. Whatever it is you choose to believe doesn't really matter, as Uagadou has undergone many different changes, as it had to adapt to different tribes and empires controlling the territory they occupy. Uagadou managed to survive each and every one of those empires, growing with knowledge and power as time came, until the point where they were able to declare themselves independent from any kind of government. To this day, Uagadou acts completely independent from any major political powers in the Western world, although they have decided to accept and collaborate with the magical government of Uagadou to keep the magical world a secret. Now, into some specifics of Uagadou. Uagadou has 8 years of school, divided by semesters, 2 semesters per year. School starts at the age of 10. Let me tell you a quick story about how they let their chosen one know. They send them a magical dream, and when they wake up from this magical dream, they are given a trinket. This trinket is the only way to see Uagadou, actually, and the only way to get in. This trinket, it's very important for everyone that studies in Uagadou. You can actually get a replacement if you lost it, but you shouldn't. That's why I always keep mine with myself. Well, there are 6 houses in Uagadou. Each one of them is represented by a different biome. This is a relatively new way to separate its students, only entering in effect 60 years ago. Before this, the school used to separate its students by tribes, but this ended up being too difficult to maintain, as more people from different tribes started to attend the school, and the quantity of tribes, as well as the conflicts and fights that originated from this, became too much to handle. Let me tell you a little bit about the houses. First one, Barija, the desert. This is the house of the survivors. They will keep going, they are very good at finding solutions to problems. They are the ones that follow what they believe in, and they are represented by the desert. Utsolo, the forest. This is the house of the peaceful. They love nature. They want to keep the world pure and perfect. They have kind hearts, but they are strong enough to fight for what they stand for. They are the forest. Angasiwa is the swamp. They are the mysterious. They keep secrets. They strive to know to keep themselves safe. They are very good at discovering lies. They are the swamp. Ikwa. They are the Arctic. They are determined. Their hearts are hard as ice. They know what they want and what they would do to achieve it. I really don't like people. I mean, they're pretty cool, but I mean, they're kinda, you know. Don't tell anyone I said that. Umkumbe is the reef. They are the flexibles. They love the pleasures of life, eating, relationships, art. They are the more creative people here. They just like to chill, you know. And they're pretty good. I like them a lot. And finally, Shaksa, the Savannah, the house of the leaders. They represent the Alpha. They will guide their friends and family and will do whatever they can to protect them. If you can guess, I am from Shaksa. To reach each dorm room, we the students need to enter a trial room. This is put in place so that only members of each house can enter each room, you know? You can ask permission for the professors to enter the house of another, well, the room of another house, but yeah, it's kind of difficult. For example, I'm not gonna tell you what happens in Saksha, I'm gonna keep that as a secret, but I am going to tell you what the Barija does. Their common room is actually placed in a desert. Well, it's not a desert, it's a magical illusion, but yeah, if you're not from Barija, the heat of the desert will make you pass out until a teacher comes and gets you out. Each student is evaluated way before being invited into Uagadou. So by the first time they arrive to the school, the headmistress already has an idea for which house everyone should be. But in the end, it's down to the test. Each test is very different for each group of people. Oh yeah, tests are done in groups of sets. But you have to face a life-threatening situation. It's not always life-threatening, but it's always dangerous. You just gotta do it. And yeah, by the end, each teacher of the house will get to choose if they want you in their house. And you can pick in which house you will enter. Now, if you chose wrong, you can be changed to a different house, but I don't really recommend it. We care a lot about our houses, and switching houses is deemed not so cool. And right now my reputation isn't good enough to change houses. Not like I want. The dorms, yeah. They are underground, the Great Mountain of Moon. A mythical mountain that muggles don't think exists. Ah, poor muggles. But all of the formal class and activities take place on the central building at the top of the mountain. Now, some quick customs and traditions about this place. Wandless magic is common practice. I learned this when I came into school. I already had the wand that my father had left for me. So yeah, no, that it's a little difficult to adjust, but I'm doing fine, don't worry about me. Also, there aren't many chimneys in Africa. Flue powder is still commonly used. But instead of chimneys, giant bonfires are kept lit in the center of all communities. Letting 10 people use them at the same time. Keeping the bonfire lit at any moment is sacred. And if by any means the fire goes out, it's said that a lifetime of bad luck will fall under the one that was supposed to keep it lit. Magical tattoos are commonly seen. Snakes slithering through the bodies, going from head to feet, lions roaring, stars glowing and changing color, all done in no more than a few hours. And now, the most interesting fact I learned when I got here. Every tribe has a special set of spells, developed by the tribemen during generations, and only taught to the best children in each tribe. How it's decided which kid gets to learn the secret spells varies. Some have a quarterly test, potion contests, transformation symposiums. I actually know a friend of mine was the one chosen to learn the secret spells of their tribe. And keep it as a secret though. There are a lot of tribes that fight to get the spells from the other tribes. Yeah, it's not nice, that. Well, I think that's all. So, thank you for paying attention and hope to see you. I really hope I got a good grade with this.
Hey guys, Albion Mermont here, but you can call me Al, and today I'm going to read to you a little bit about the school where I studied magic, Mahoutokoro. Mahoutokoro is a triangular-shaped palace made of white jade, and it's located at the topmost point of Minami Iwo Jima. It is a volcanic island in the southern tropical region of Japan. Here, students began school at the early age of 7, but do not board until the age of 11. And rather than having distinct years or levels, the students here advance through their studies at a pace that fits their abilities and skills. It's common for most students to study until the age of 18, but sometimes they might finish earlier to go beyond the age of 18, depending on their course of study and individual progress. Here at Mahoutokoro, the robes they give us change size and color as the witch and wizard mature physically and intellectually, beginning with a pale pink, and then they turn purple, blue, green, yellow, orange, and red, with the colors silver and gold representing the students who have truly mastered the vast magical knowledge that is taught here at our school. Staff members are seen wearing black robes, and if a robe turns white, that indicates that the witch or wizard has shamed the magical traditions of Japan by engaging in the dark arts. Upon entering Mahoutokoro, students are given a battery of various skill tests to determine the area or areas of strength that they might possess. Based on their performance, they are given recommendations for their house of study. In some cases, they might be given 2 or rarely even 3 houses where they might excel. The first of the 3 houses at Mahoutokoro is Tomo'u. It is the house of the mind, where witches and wizards focus on wand-list magic such as divination, ancient runes, arithmancy, numerology, occlumency, and legilimency. This house is represented by the lotus. Then there is Yuke, the house of the body. Here, students possess strengths in practical or physical magic, like jinxes, hexes, transfiguration, and defense against the dark arts. This house is represented by the bamboo shoot. Finally, there's my house, House Tsunashi, which is the house of the spirit. Here, the members of this house study natural or scientific magic, like my favorite, herbology. It also includes magi zoology, astronomy, potions, and alchemy. Students must complete a certain number of classes in their house of study, but we are allowed to dabble in the other fields of study that might fall under different houses. While it's uncommon, switching houses is a possibility. However, you have to have the recommendation and approval from a Mahoutokoro staff member. The history behind the 3 houses here at Mahoutokoro is based on the Japanese word kokoro, which connects the mind, body, and spirit. So while the school divides our houses based on these 3 aspects, it is the Japanese belief that the 3 are connected and indivisible from one another. The founding instructors of Mahoutokoro believe that one can only reach their true potential by first embracing their strengths, but ultimately by realizing that it is our whole self we must embrace despite our strengths. So while we must not only rely on what we're good at alone, we must still hone and perfect those skills, which is why they created the house system that allows us to embrace our inner strength, but also encourages us to branch out and allow growth as a whole person in body, mind, and spirit. The school's motto and philosophy is Bunkatsu Shigatsu Su, which translates into divided but together. Rather than calling the instructors here professors, at Mahoutokoro we have instructors of varying ranks, so some of them are even current students like myself, who train younger students. The staff, however, are identified by their black robes, and they must be 18 years of age or older. They must have also mastered their expertise in order to gain the rank of sensei. As stated before, the building is triangular in structure, and at each point it is one of the dormitories for the 3 different houses. Each dormitory area is heavily decorated with the associated plant that represents each house, but despite the difference in vegetation, each of the dormitory wings has its own unique garden-like area full of vivid colors and plant life, one of my favorite things about Mahoutokoro. There are even small friendly creatures inhabiting the vast gardens, and if you didn't know any better, you might even think that you aren't in a building at all, because the ceiling is enchanted to mimic a clear sky. Aside from having assigned sleeping quarters, the students are not restricted from congregating in any area, regardless of what house you're in. Because many students often study magic outside of their house, a majority of the student body live their daily lives with little importance being placed on what house you come from. I hope you guys enjoyed learning a little bit about my area of study, Mahoutokoro, and maybe someday you'll get to visit the beautiful gardens. It's probably one of the most amazing places in all of Japan.
So hey, what's up guys? My name is Levi. I'm going to this cool school. It's like Castelobruxo. It's like really cool. I hope I said that right. I don't know. My Portuguese ain't quite there yet, but I'm starting to learn. But it's located in like Brazil. Don't know if you guys know what that is. I mean, only really smart people have ever been there. It's like in South America, like pretty far down there. And like the school itself is located in the jungle of Brazil. It's like in like this really, really deep jungle. Like you have to just be like a really cool wizard to be there. You know what I'm saying? So like you go into the jungle and you start to see this like temple thing, and it looks like a temple. It's like a castle temple, and it's got like a pyramid on it. That's kind of where all the like students stay. It's like top upper deck. It's for like the first years, and then so on and so forth until you graduate. You go all the way down. When you get there, you don't actually get sorted until like your 3rd year. They're hoping that like, you know what I'm saying? Like the first 2 years, you kind of blend with everybody, get all the like good parts of everybody, and start to pick up good traits from everybody together as a whole, instead of separating everybody and just making you like, oh, I'm a bad guy, I'm gonna go hang out with all the other bad guys, and now all the good guys hang out. No, let's bring them all together, you know what I'm saying? So then we do that for 2 years, you finally get sorted in your 3rd year. And that's when you kind of get separated, and it's not to separate you, it's more to get you to focus on the things you excel at. That way, like by the time you graduate, you're like as good as you could possibly be, you know what I'm saying? It's like a pyramid. The 4 houses there, they're like diamante, that means like diamond in Portuguese, I think, I don't know. Quartzo rosa, but they kind of take out the quartzo part. It's just more rosa. It's just a pink quartzo, you know what I'm saying? So it's just that. And then there's orpal, and then that's when the houses you get separated in. They all kind of separate into different things, and like how dedicated you are, how creative you are, how talkative you are. I don't know if I'll make it there. We'll see. Stubbornness, things like that will separate you. Small little character traits of yourself will separate you. And the cool way they do this is like you get to have like a party on your 3rd year, and like all the students are welcome. You don't have to just be in your 3rd year to be there. They like bring all the students together. It's like a big celebration thing. Like that's like a big thing in Brazil. They like to celebrate a lot of events and things like that. So that's kind of where that came from. But during this party, you get to reach into a sack and pull out this little like clear, how do I explain? Like a rock. Yeah, like a little clear rock. And then you hold on to that for a little while, and then you shake it a bit. Maybe that makes it go faster. I don't know. After about 30 minutes of like this party, everybody's rocks start changing, and that's like the cool part, because it's like, oh look, I got like a diamond, oh that means I'm in diamante, or something like that. And then like, oh look, it's like quartzo, I'm in quartzo. And then like things like that, you can't like trade with anybody or anything, you know what I'm saying? You gotta stick with what you got. And then after that, they separate you into like your houses, and you get to live with people for quite some time, until about, I think it's your like 6th year or something like that. I don't remember. It's like your 6th or 7th year. I can't remember. You expect me to remember these things? I don't know. But you can take a minor in another like house, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Like you get to, let's say I'm Rosa. It's like, oh, I like Rosa, but let me try Orpal. Yeah, Orpal. And then you could kind of blend a little bit more, and like, because everything is so cross over, like this fits with this and this fits with this. It's like a bunch of circles that kind of connect, if that makes sense. I don't know what I'm even talking about anymore. But yeah, that's pretty much the school of Castelobruxo. Bruxo? It's something like that. That's how all the sorting and all that happens. A little bit more about the actual school at night. It's like protected by like these little cool little fuzzy spirit things. I forget what they're called, but they're kind of cool. They make sure all the students are safe at night and all that, which you would need because like in the dark jungle, who knows what could be out there. It's kind of scary out there. Don't tell anybody I said that, you know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much it. If you have any more questions, I would just like contact Hog, because honestly, I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore at this point.
Nestled within the chilled waters of the Arctic Ocean sits a big hunk of brick known as Koldovstoretz. Now, Koldovstoretz is the visiting school of ERRATA. Half of the building itself is concealed beneath the waves, whilst its towers reach high towards the sky. Now you may be thinking, what about the muggles? Surely they see the building from the shore. But that's where the charms come in. Anti-muggle charms are not the only cautions Koldovstoretz takes. Huge stock is put in hard work and defending oneself. As a result, defense against the dark arts is compulsory, and our uniforms are also enchanted to protect against offensive spells. The school offers 7-year levels. Students begin their studies at age 11 and will graduate at 17 years of age. Koldovstoretz has 2 major student groups, or what is known as courts. Each court encompasses 2 houses which the students may select from in their second year, and individuals are sorted into courts during their first. The process itself is, a little weird to say the least. A single drop of blood is drawn from the dominant hand and placed in an empty open hourglass. If the droplet floats towards the bottom, then you'll be sorted into the court of the ocean like me. If the droplet floats towards the top, then you'll be put in the court of the sky. This divide non-intentionally encourages a rift between the 2 courts, and students often clash. This is further enhanced by the fact that social status often influences the hourglass's decision. Thus, it is common consensus that skies think of seas as unintelligent buffoons, and we tend to see them as frolicking peacocks. Under the Court of the Sea, students may choose from House Svarog, Artistry and Practicality, or Corvoret, Auspiciousness and Luck. However, if you are unfortunate enough to be sorted into the Court of the Sky, you may choose from Thundermark, the artsy-fartsy ones, or Velis, the book ones. On the final note, students from second year onwards will also wear a special pin upon their ties to represent their house symbol. So hopefully that is all you need to know from me.